Good day, everyone, and welcome to Journey of the Anointed with Mr. Buzz, even though this video will have nothing to do with anointing or anything spiritual. This is about the government. I don't talk about that very much anymore, but wow, it's pretty interesting what's unfolding in the United States. And I have a feeling it's going to unfold here too, the same sort of thing. So this is something I knew was happening a long time ago, just from, watching different news shows and different events that took place. Trump and Elon Musk got this DOGE thing, Department of Government Efficiency. So they were well aware, just like I say I was, and lots of other people are too, that basically the whole government system is set up as a big scam. There's NGOs, non-governmental organizations, which actually should stand for not good organizations, because they're set up to scam and steal. That's what they're for. They've got dead people working. I mean, on the books, people that are 250 years old. People died a long time ago, still working for the government. And their paychecks still go through, and that makes them entitled to all this other stuff they get, government payments, and it's being funneled into offshore accounts. There's a question that people ask all the time. If a person in Congress, their salary is whatever it is, 200 and some thousand, 300,000, it's still a pretty big salary, but they're billionaires. How did they become billionaires? As a congressman or a congresswoman, how do you become a billionaire with that salary? Well, when you add up the insider trading they do and all these scams that I'm talking about, committing fraud, big time fraud. And that's how you spell billionaire. That's how that happens. So as Musk gets in there and checks out everything going on, he was on Joe Rogan just talking about everything he's found already. Exactly the stuff I figured was going on. They love the dead people thing. That's how they commit their voter fraud too. Dead people voting. So these dead people, when someone dies in the States, there's a bureaucracy that makes sure that person, even though they're dead, on the books, it's very beneficial for them to remain alive. Because then they can use that person for all kinds of things. Okay, this is one of the biggest things that's happening. Happening here too. They set this all up in the States, and they've been doing it for years, stealing left, right, and center. If it wasn't for the stealing going on, we have this idea that this amount of tax we pay, we pay sales tax and income tax and capital gains tax and all these different taxes. We think that we need to pay all these taxes in order to keep infrastructure going. Get rid of the fraud and the stealing. We could probably get rid of most of the taxes. We're paying taxes so criminals have a nice revenue stream coming to them constantly. That's why we're paying all these taxes. Go out and buy, in the province I live in, here in Ontario, 13% HST. Everything you buy, another 13% on top of it. That's a crazy amount of tax to have to pay on every item you buy. It just is, okay? We wouldn't have to have this if it wasn't for all the stealing, all the fraud that's going on. So they set it up in the States. They got the system going well. All these NGOs involved. They're stealing left, right, and center. Then they taught Canada how to do the same thing. It's probably gone to other countries too. This is a worldwide thing by the looks of it, and COVID is what showed that. This network of criminals, it's worldwide. It's all over the whole planet. And NGOs are at the center of all of it, always. Not good organizations. That's what that stands for. They're not good at all. In Elon Musk's words, the NGOs are an absolute nightmare. Take the NGOs away, and their whole system would pretty much collapse. But they've got an NGO for everything. Everything. And as soon as it's called an NGO, everyone's got this idea, oh, they do charity work and they do missionary work and they help people with infrastructure in poor countries. And that's what Billy Boy taught them to do. Billy Boy Gates, with his philanthropy, which is a pile of crap, it's business masked as philanthropy. His philanthropy is more profitable than anything he's ever done. How can it be? Philanthropy is giving your money away and helping people, but the money leaves and nothing comes back. His philanthropy, he gives money, but he gives it to things that make him tons of money. That is not philanthropy. That is investing. That's investing in business. That's what you call that. So philanthropy is another fake word when you do it the way Billy Boy Gates does. This is what these NGOs are also engaging in. Same thing. So they're cleaning up a bunch of mess in the States. And when they're done, I'm hoping somebody's going to take on the job and do it in Canada as well. Because they're going to find the same exact thing. Dead people, it's just going to be a carbon copy of what they find in the States. We need a Department of Government Efficiency as well. And look at Justin Trudeau and his henchmen. They're a perfect example of what I'm saying. They have a slush fund. Billions of dollars, I think $4 billion in it. And then all his ministers, who own businesses themselves, if they don't, they start one, like a shell company they call it. And then they can apply for these grants. And some of them are doing it with fake names and stuff. I mean, it's 100% fraud. Fraud. That's what's going on. And I think the Lord is finally going to clean it all up. I think it's quite a time, actually, in the world. I think we're going to see the hand of God come down here and start cleaning stuff up. And people are going to be accountable for the things they've been doing. The average person, the meek shall inherit the earth. I did a video on it before. The meek are the ones that are getting robbed. Okay, I just went out and bought my groceries and bought a few items the other day. And I looked at the amount of tax I paid on it. And it's like, whoa. Unreal how we're getting robbed. We're being kept on our knees. But we're going to inherit the earth. And we're going to inherit a cleaned up earth. And like I say, I still don't know about Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Elon Musk with his brain chip thing. I don't trust him because of that. But so far they're doing good things. They're cleaning up a bunch of fraud and crime that's happening, which it needs to be done. And I hope it rubs off on someone in Canada and make me the head of DOGE in Canada. I'll find all the fraud. I know what kind of scams they're pulling anyway, so it wouldn't even be hard to find. I know exactly the kind of things they're doing. And whoever gets to form a government in Canada, it's a license to commit crime and run scams. That's what it is. It's a license to commit crime. That's what winning an election is in Canada. And okay, you get to form a government. That's a license to run scams and enrich ourselves, guys. Let's do it. That's how every government looks at it. And it doesn't matter if it's conservative government, liberal government. You can put an NDP government in there. I think they're even worse. They seem to be very comfortable with scams and crime. I don't think it matters. Put the Greens in there. They'll do the same thing. Anyone. It's time for the Lord needs to pick a leader who is just a nobody. You know, the kind of leader like from the Bible who's a nobody, and he raises him up to, or her, whatever, to a position that you'd never expect this person to ever get. And they wouldn't get it unless the Lord elevated them to it. That's what we need. We need a common man or a common woman, just a regular person, to take over and show everybody what things would go like when you're not a criminal running the country. Because we don't even know. That's all we've had is criminals run the country. We haven't had anything but. Every one of them, criminals. They're not politicians. They are criminals in organized crime rings with connections to the richest criminals in the world. But they're all criminals. That's what we need to take George Carlin's opinion on this. They're not politicians. They are indeed criminals, thieves. That's what they are. And I'll leave it there. Let's hope Canada gets its own DOGE. It's a good name for it, too. Department of Government Efficiency. They found out there's no efficiency in the government whatsoever.